The cameras flash, the crowd freezes, and, just like that, Hollywood has a new obsession.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, picture the scene. It's late March 2001, the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles.
Right?
The air isn't just buzzing, it is thick, heavy with that specific kind of Hollywood tension you can almost taste.
Oh, yeah, where you could hear a pin drop.
Exactly. And you have Kate Hudson sitting there. She's 21 years old. She's essentially American royalty, but she's also fresh off the massive breakout success of Almost Famous.
She was the absolute it girl of the moment.
Right. Nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
And then this is the moment that is supposed to anoint her, you know.
Yeah, the cameras are completely fixed on her. She's sitting right next to the man who raised her, Kurt Russell. And the presenter opens the envelope, silence stretches out, and the name called is Marcia Gay Harden.
Wow.
Kate loses. The room erupts for Marcia. The cameras pan wildly. Yeah. And in that chaotic, crushing moment where a 21-year-old's ego could just completely shatter.
Which is completely understandable.
Right. Kurt Russell leans into his stepdaughter's ear, and he whispers a sentence that I think arguably defines the next 25 years of her life. He says, "Congratulations, now you can go have a career."
Wow. It is such a profound, almost counterintuitive moment because it completely reframes the concept of failure.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, winning that early is often a curse. If she had won, she might have been frozen in time as this prodigy, a total fluke.
Exactly.
By losing, Kurt was telling her she was just given permission to work, to struggle, really.
And today, on this deep dive, we are unpacking exactly what that work looked like. Welcome to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's mission is answering the viral question that seems to just pop up on TikTok and Twitter every few months. Is Kate Hudson actually talented, or is she just the ultimate Nepo baby?
Right. It's a fascinating case study.
Right.
Because on paper, she is the poster child for nepotism.
The blueprint, almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Daughter of Goldie Hawn, raised by Kurt Russell. You just assume the doors swung wide open for her.
That's sure.
But when you actually analyze the source material we have for this deep dive, interviews from Variety, deep cuts from the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and reports from Hello Magazine.
A totally different narrative emerges.
Completely different.
So let's start with the upbringing, because if you're a listener just scrolling through Instagram today, you see the glamour. But the sources refer to Goldie Hawn's parenting style in the 90s as the earn it mandate.
The earn it mandate.
Which, look, I gotta be honest, sounds a little bit like PR spin. It is very easy to say you're tough when you're living in a mansion. Was it actually tough?
Well, that is the exact skepticism you should have. But the evidence suggests it was genuinely rigorous, almost strategically so. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell made this very deliberate, tactical choice to move the family from Los Angeles to a ranch just outside of Aspen, Colorado.
Which, to the average person, moving to Aspen doesn't exactly sound like roughing it.
No, it sounds like a permanent ski vacation.
Right.
But the intent was psychological. They called it escaping the entitlement trap. They wanted to remove their kids from the echo chamber of L.A., where status is basically inherited rather than earned.
There is this specific anecdote Kate shared recently that I think really drives this home. She talks about coming back to LA as a teenager, and she's looking around at her peers, kids she went to school with, and they are 16, 17 years old driving Ferraris.
Oh, my gosh.
Literal luxury cars given to them as birthday gifts. And Kate is standing there looking at Goldie and Kurt like, oh, wait a minute. We have money? Where is my Ferrari?
And this is where we get into a concept that sociologists might call material decoupling.
Oh, break that down for us. What does that actually mean in practice?
So material decoupling is the psychological separation of the parent's resources from the child's identity.
Okay.
Usually, in these wealthy dynasties, the child views the family assets as a collective pot. Our house, our money, our status. But Goldie Hawn radically drew a line. When Kate asked about the cars or the lifestyle, the response wasn't just no. It was, none of this belongs to you.
Man, that is harsh. None of this belongs to you.
It is incredibly harsh, but it's effective. Goldie's philosophy was that the house, the money, the private jet, that was her earnings. That was her career.
Right.
If Kate or her brother Oliver wanted that life, they were welcome to it, but they had to build it from scratch. They were just denied luxury items. They were denied the feeling of ownership over their parents' success.
But how far did that actually go? Because surely when Kate decided to become an actress, Goldie made a few calls. I mean, that is just how Hollywood works.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But the reporting suggests the exact opposite. Goldie actually blocked Kate from taking a professional TV job while she was still in high school.
She blocked her.
Yes. Kate had an offer. She had an in. And Goldie said, no, you are going to finish geometry. You are going to have a normal life.
Imagine having the golden ticket in your hand and your mom just rips it up because she wants you to experience high school drama instead.
And it goes deeper than just blocking jobs. It was really about identity formation. One of the most telling details in the research is how Kate handled her name in audition rooms. We have to remember, she is biologically the daughter of Bill Hudson.
Right, from the Hudson brothers.
Yeah, but she was entirely estranged from him. However, when she started auditioning, she used the name Hudson like a shield.
Because Hudson didn't scream Goldie Hawn's daughter the way Hawn or Russell would have. It was a way to just be anonymous.
Precisely. She used it as armor. She wanted to know, she needed to know, that if she got a call back, it was because she was good, not because the casting director just wanted to meet her mom.
Wow.
She even turned down roles in Kurt Russell's movies early on. Think about the willpower that takes for a struggling actor. You have a guaranteed gig with your dad, and you say no because you don't want to be defined by him.
That is a level of discipline most 20-year-olds just do not have. But here's where I want to push back a little bit. She did Almost Famous. She got the Oscar nomination. She proved she could act. But then she spent a decade doing rom-coms.
The rom-com era.
Yes, the rom-com era. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Bride Wars, Fool's Gold. Look, I have seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days probably 20 times.
It's a classic.
It is iconic. But if she was so focused on the craft and earning it, why does she spend 10 years leaning into these very commercial, very safe roles?
That is the million-dollar question. And it brings us to a phenomenon known as the golden cage.
The golden cage.
Kate has admitted this in interviews. She said that while these movies were incredibly successful financially, she felt caged creatively. The industry sees you do one thing well. In her case, being the bubbly, relatable, slightly chaotic lead. And they pay you handsomely for it, but they stop seeing you as capable of anything else.
So the success actually becomes the trap.
Exactly. It's a branding issue. Kate Hudson became a brand. She was the face of the 2000s rom-com. And once you're a brand, it is incredibly difficult to convince a director, like a Martin Scorsese or a darker indie filmmaker, to hire you. They don't see an actor. They see the girl from the movie poster with the yellow dress.
Which brings us to the present day. Because if we are asking, is she talented, we have to look at what is happening right now in 2026. Because she has broken out of the cage in a way that literally nobody saw coming.
This is the Renaissance. We are talking about the film Song Sung Blue.
This movie is everywhere right now. She is starring alongside Hugh Jackman. But this isn't a glossy Hollywood biopic about a superstar.
No, it's very gritty. It's based on a true story about a real-life couple, Mike and Claire Sardina from Milwaukee. They formed a Neil Diamond tribute band called Lightning and Thunder, and Kate is playing Claire, who goes by Thunder.
And the big talking point here is that she is singing live. She isn't lip-syncing to a track. She is out there performing. And the reviews, I mean, critics are using words like revelatory and ferocious.
It's currently holding an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is incredibly high for this genre. But the reason this matters for our deep dive is the symmetry.
Yeah.
Kate was nominated for her first Oscar at 21. Now, exactly 25 years later, she is nominated for Best Actress for Song Sung Blue.
That is incredible, a 25-year gap between nominations.
It completely validates that whisper from Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Now you can go have a career. She went out, she had the career, she made the money, she endured the typecasting, and she fought her way back to the art.
And the reaction to this film, not just from critics, but the viral response has been wild. Neil Diamond himself actually called Hugh Jackman crying after seeing the film.
Wow.
Yeah, crying over their performance. And speaking of family reactions, their response to this renaissance is just the sweetest thing.
Oh, the interview she's been doing.
Yeah, she revealed on the Graham Norton show back in November 2025, and then again on Happy Sad Confused in February 2026, that Goldie and Kurt were a complete mess when they watched it, just sobbing.
You have to imagine the layers there. Goldie Hawn won an Oscar herself for Cactus Flower. Watching her daughter return to that circle, it's a full circle moment. But the one that really stuck with me, and I think this is the key to understanding their family dynamic, was from Kurt Russell.
What did he say?
He said that watching Kate in this film was like seeing his daughter reach her Total reachable potential.
Total reachable potential. That is such a specific, almost technical way to compliment your kid. It's not just, you were great, honey. It implies he was waiting for this. He knew the potential was there, sitting dormant during Bride Wars.
It implies that he knew she had a ceiling she hadn't touched yet, and he was just waiting for her to jump high enough to tag it.
And if you're loving these Hollywood twists and uncovering the truth behind these dynasties, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a deep dive coming up on the Coppola family that you do not want to miss. So make sure you are subscribed to StarScope Report. But, acting wasn't the only risk she took recently. If we're talking about talent and breaking out of boxes, we have to talk about the move she made that everyone, and I mean everyone, said was a terrible idea.
You're talking about the album.
I am talking about the music, because apparently being an Oscar-nominated actress wasn't enough. She decided to release a debut album in her 40s.
Which, historically, is considered the absolute kiss of death for a serious actor.
The crossover curse.
It's so real. Think about how many actors have tried to launch music careers and were just absolutely roasted for it. The industry warnings to Kate were explicit. For years, she was told, don't break what's not broken.
Right.
You are a movie star. Stay in your lane. The risk of embarrassment is just way too high.
But she did it anyway. She released her debut album, Glorious, in May 2024, and she signed with Virgin Music Group. That is not a vanity label. That is a real label.
Yeah.
She wrote the songs with her fiancé, Danny Fujikawa. And the singles, Talk About Love and Live Forever, which is actually a love letter to her parents, they really resonated.
And critically, it worked. It wasn't treated as a joke. It was treated as a legitimate artistic expression. But I want to connect this risk-taking behavior back to something we teased at the start of the show.
Okay, yes.
Because this ability to ignore industry advice, it started way back at the beginning of her career with a story that frankly shocked me.
The divorce ultimatum?
Yes. We promised we'd get to this.
So paint the picture for us. Kate is young. She's just starting out. She hasn't landed her spot on Party 5 yet. And she goes into a meeting with industry figures, agents, managers, and they give her some advice on how to be taken seriously.
The advice was essentially, you need to divorce your parents.
What does that even mean?
They weren't suggesting a metaphorical distance, they were suggesting legal emancipation.
You're kidding!
No, they told her that to be hired as an adult in Hollywood, she needed to legally sever ties with Goldie Hawn and Bill Hudson. They viewed her lineage not as an asset, but as heavy baggage. They thought casting directors would only ever see Goldie's kid unless she had a piece of paper saying she was completely on her own.
Can you imagine the audacity? Sitting there and telling Goldie Hawn's daughter, hey, your mom is a legend, but you need to legally dump her if you want a guest spot on a TV drama.
It is absurd. But it shows you the intense pressure these Nepo babies actually face to prove they are independent. But here's the kicker. Goldie's reaction.
I can only imagine.
Goldie didn't just say no, she shut it down completely. She said no, never happening. Her philosophy was that if the industry requires you to destroy your family unit to get a job, then the job isn't worth it.
Right.
She drew a hard line. Earn your way? Yes. Destroy the family? Absolutely not.
And clearly she was right. Kate went out, refused the emancipation, and booked the role of Corey on Party of 5 independently anyway.
It was a huge gamble on talent over tactics. And I think that decision really set the stage for everything that came later. It taught Kate that she could defy the industry experts and still win, which completely explains why she felt comfortable releasing an album when everyone said don't, or taking a gritty role when everyone wanted a rom-com.
And look at her now. The current context. In February 2026, she is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see her at the BAFTAs pre-party recently?
In the black leather bodice.
Yes. She looked incredible. And just a few days ago, on February 12th, she received the Spotlight Award at the Costume Designers Guild Awards.
She is really having a moment.
But wait till you hear what came next, because when Fox News Digital recently asked her if she had any career regrets, looking back on all the risks and the lost roles, her answer was so unexpected.
Right, well, stay tuned, because after this, we're also going to get into why Goldie Hawn calls her daughter Attila the Hun when it comes to raising the next generation.
Oh, the parenting dynamic is wild. But first, the regret. What was the single regret she admitted to?
She joked that her only regret was, quote, I'd keep more clothes.
That's it!
That's the regret. Not the emancipation advice, not the rom-coms, just the wardrobe.
Which, honestly, fair. If I had her wardrobe from the early 2000s, I deeply regret losing it too. So we have established that Kate is talented. We've established that she worked for it. But there's one more layer to the story that I find absolutely fascinating. It's how this strict parenting style has trickled down to the next generation,
Right. Generational
the
shift.
grandkids. Because you would think Goldie Hawn, the architect of the strict meritocracy simulation, would be a very strict grandmother.
But she's not. Not at all. Goldie admits she is a totally lenient grandparent. She is the fun grandma who gives them whatever they want.
Meanwhile, Goldie calls Kate Attila the Hun.
That nickname kills me. Attila the Hun.
It is hilarious because we all think of Kate as Penny Lane, right? This free spirit dancing in the confetti. But apparently at home, she is the drill sergeant.
But it makes sense if you look at the context. Kate has 3 children with 3 different fathers, Ryder, Bingham, and Ronnie. That is a complex family structure. She calls her unit seriously strong, but she admits she has to draw firm roadmaps.
Yeah, she is strict about structure. She is enforcing the same struggle she went through. She isn't letting her kids rely on the family name any more than she was allowed to. It's like she's taken Goldie's 90s philosophy and just upgraded it for the 2020s.
And Goldie supports it 100%. Goldie's gone on record saying that kids have to struggle to develop character. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the growth. The Hawn-Russell method is essentially, here is the obstacle, good luck climbing it.
And looking at Kate today, you can see the results of that climb. It is a case study in how to navigate a legacy. She could have easily just been Goldie's daughter. She could have coasted.
But she didn't. She took the long road.
If you don't want to miss a single beat of the awards season drama as this Song Sung Blue narrative plays out, make sure you are subscribed to StarScope Report.
So Kate Hudson proved her talent not by hiding her lineage, but by working harder than the Nepo baby narrative expects. From the Earn It rule in Colorado to a 25-year journey back to the Oscars.
So, to wrap up, we've unpacked the childhood in Colorado, the refusal to use the connections, the golden cage of rom-coms, and this incredible resurgence today. It really does feel like she has answered the question, is she actually talented? And the answer is a resounding yes.
But it leaves us with a final, really provocative thought.
What's that?
Is the Hudson-Russell method, insisting on struggle despite immense privilege, is that the only way to create a second-generation star with actual staying power? Or is Kate Hudson just the exception to the rule?
Oh, that's a great point. Is the grit created by the parenting, or was the grit always there? Nature versus nurture.
Exactly, something for everyone to think about.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.